So before we know how to implement the game, we need to know about the flow first. So let's go to the flow chart here. So at the first step, we'll ask the program to generate a random number and then store it to target. And then we try to get some input from the user. And then we check against some conditions here. And then if one of them is true, then go back to the input. So it creates a loop here until the user get the correct answer. So what those conditions means, let's explain here. So for the first conditions is checking is it out of the range. So if yes, then saying that wrong range, and then go back to the input. If it is within the range, so let's check with is it larger than the target. If it is yes, then saying that it's too large, too high, go back to the input. So if you type something here that is within the range, is larger than the target, then let's check with the third conditions. It is less than the target. If it is yes, then okay, too low. So based on the hints here, the user will know the range and then to get the answer. And then if the user types some correct answer, we type the correct answer here. And we check is it within the range? Yes, here go to here. Is it larger than the target? No. Is it less than the target? No. Then you got the answer. Basically, the game is like this. And then we will use two commands to get the value and then return the test output. That means we will use input to get the user's input, and then we will use print to print out something. And inside we will make some condition. So to start with, let's go to 2.2 here. We will generate a random number. So to do so, we will use this command, random ranit. And then you need to give two things into this command. Okay, or you can say it's parameters. You can give two parameters into this command. So I give 1 and 100 here. It will start from 1 to 100. It will generate a random integer from 1 to 100. And then we store it to target. So this number is not shown to the user, and then the user need to guess on what's happening. After we have prepared this number, we ask the user, okay, I'm ready. Please guess on what number am I having. So after this line, we'll go to the game loop. And remember, when you do with the loop here, you need to understand, okay, the Python cares about the space. So remember, you have the correct indentation. So if you don't have the correct indentation, it will regard a wrong program. So don't forget it, okay? So let's get the guess input test here. So we use a command called input to get something. So please enter a number between 1 and 100. And for indicating the test here, you need the quotation mark. So make sure they are in pairs, and then the bracket also in pairs, okay? And then let's see what's happening right now. Let's run this partial program first. So save it and then run it. So it will say, I'm thinking of a number. What number am I thinking of? And then this one will be shown when the program wants to get some input. So for example, 50, 30, 10, 80. It will do nothing because we are keeping it. Okay, we are not leaving the loop. We never leave the loop because we haven't have any mechanism to leave the loop. So we will leave the loop after we create the gate, so don't worry about it. To stop the loop like this, you can use a command called, let me have a virtual keyboard first. So if you want to stop the program right now, you can have Control C, and then it will have some warnings appear to stop the program. So is the way to stop the program. Control C. So you can run it. 50, 30, and then you can do Control C to stop the program. Let's do with this one. Okay, we have some pseudocode. So let's do with this one. So we need to check with the user input, and then to check if this is correct, then we finish the game. So what should it be? We need to check this one with the target. However, guess input test will return us about a test. We will get a test instead of a number. So what should it? How can we compare a test with a number? We need to convert it back to a number. So how can we do that? We will use a command called int. It will convert something to an integer. So let's do it like this. Guess input test, and then this line helps us to convert from a string or from a text to an integer. And then here we will check with the user's guess. That means we'll check with the input. So to do so, let's do the first test here. Is it out of the range? Is it less than 1, or guess input larger than 100? You cannot do like this. It's not correct. Python will not know what's happening. So you need to explicit saying that is this less than 1, or if this is greater than 100. Then yes, then please enter an integer between 1 and 100. Close bracket. This is the first conditions we check on. Then we have the second conditions. So how can we do with the if case here? Continuously. We will do with else. That means else if. Else if the input is greater than the target. Then print too large. Here. So we have the third condition is if guess input is less than target. Too small. So at the end, if 3 of them are not correct, that means we come to the else case here. So we change finish to be true to stop the loop. This is the mechanism to break the loop. And then after the loop here, we print out something here. We print out, yeah, you got it. My number is and then target, and then full stop. Maybe it's better for us to stick on the display here, so it's too low. And if it is too large, what should it be? It will be too high. So here we have this one, we have too low, too high. So let's try to run it. $50 too high, 10 too low, 20 too high, 15. Yeah, you got it. My number is 15. Right now you may find that there's a strange space here. We will try to fix it later, so don't worry about it. But before we fix it, we make another one. Maybe we try to count the number of gases here. So to start with, maybe it's better for us to have a variable count. We use this variable to count how many numbers, how many loops we have go on. We make a counter here. Okay. So how can we make this counter work? It's very simple. Inside the loop here, whenever you type a number, it will count 1. So when you run the loop once, it will go to here to update count to be count plus 1. And then later, how can you do with showing the count number? You can copy it and then change something here. It took you how many gases? How many gases to get the number? Okay. It's not target. What should it be? It's count. So let's run it. 50, 60, 70, 80, 75, 77, 78, 79. It takes to seal 8 gases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8. So you get the number, the answer shown here, and then 8 gases. So how can we fix the error? Maybe we'll fix it now. Actually, it's not so proper way to connect text with comma. Actually, we have a better way. So to connect two text here, you can use plus sign here. This plus sign will known as concatenate. If you are dealing with some string from some text here, so it will have errors if you deal with some numbers or integer. Example, you got it. My number is okay. You are saying that there is an error because target is not a text but a string. So to do so, you need to convert it back to a text. So the command for changing this is add a string str, add a string function, and then okay, use this one as a parameter. It will change it to a text version. So let's run it. Is the fix on this. So you'll find that there is some strange behavior because you need to add manually the space. So this is the fix on the doing this. So for the next task, we will try to convert it to a title graphics.